Hello everyone, my name is Locket Sprite and I am here with my playthrough of Final Fantasy XIV. Now I will let you know that this isn't the first time I am playing the game. I already have an up-to-date character that is pretty much caught up on the entire story, and I do have a few alts here and there. But because of the announcement of Dawntrail, I planned to do an entire new playthrough of the game, to go through the entire story all over again. Basically to have like a refresher of what happened, and also remember some of the details I may have forgotten about the various areas or NPCs and things like that. So, without further ado, let us go into the game, and specifically into the character screen. I will let you know a bit more about this playthrough as we progress over here. So first of all, I am going to be playing on the European data centers. Now I was tempted trying to put it on a different data center, but in the end I decided to stick with EU since the ping would probably be a lot better. So, I think we are going to go on light for this one. And you will see that I do already have some characters. Like, for instance, Anise Evergreen is one of my alts that I created for fun just because Viera. And of course I do have my main over here, Locket. This is my Lala main. She's caught up with the story, but I am still leveling some of the jobs on her. I was last leveling Reaper, as you can see. And I do have a bunch of other alts, even on other data centers. Because I do have alts on OCE, NA, simply because of different friends that play there, and also to meet new people, because I love making connections in Final Fantasy. So let's go and create our new character, of which I already have a preset saved. And I will be playing an Ellison. This is because I actually do find Ellison very interesting. It's just that I have no Ellison character. And going down on my list of preferred races, like I already have a Lalafell, I already have a Mikote, I have Oraz, a Viera, so I was like, Ellison would be the next thing for me. Now I know Ellisons are a bit weird when it comes to the animations, but I am hoping that the update, the graphical update, might actually improve some things. So we have a Roselle Arquette. Now let's wait up for this to load. And there she is. Let's go for a bit of a close-up. This is her. And this is how she's going to start her adventure. As the story progresses, of course, she can change her look, her hairstyle. Everything depends on how things will go. So let's proceed on with our birthday. So our birthday, I think I will put today, pretty much, as I am recording this on the 13th of November. So I think I'll go for this. November is also my birth month, so it kind of works. As for the patron deity, now this doesn't really have any impact on the actual gameplay, mostly for roleplay, and also for flavor, if you really like this sort of detail. I guess this playthrough could also be a good way for people to get into Final Fantasy XIV, like if you're curious how the game is. You can very well just watch this. And I think she would go for Nofika since she is going to be starting in Gridania. As part of her story, I decided to make her be... Well, she's not a Gridanian by nature, but she does live in the area of the Shroud. And she has visited Gridania before a few times. So yes, she does like to live in like a small cottage in the forest. And she does like to travel around as much as possible, but Gridania is pretty much like her home. And we have Nofika. Nofika, tender of soils and harvests and goddess of abundance, is the guardian deity of Gridania. She commands the element of earth and is associated with the 11th moon of the Eorzean calendar. Nofika is the daughter of Azima and the younger sister of Limlane. She is most often depicted as a jubilant farmer holding a scythe of steel. Her symbol is the spring leaf, which is perfect for us. And as the starting job, we are going to go for archer. So she is going to be an archer that transforms into a bard later on. That will be her main and lore job. I'm going to try and kind of role play a bit. Mostly I will let you know what kind of thoughts she might be having regarding certain conversations or what kind of answers she would have given, since the game has limited options when it comes to the answers. Maybe in some situations she would have done things differently, but we are going to go through this story like a sort of a role play. In terms of side quests, because this might be something you're wondering about, I will actually go through the side quests. Especially in the starting city, because this is a good way to get to know the NPCs, the conflicts, what they are struggling with, and even outside of the main starting city, you can find some gems here and there. And, you know, quests that will teach you more about the land, actually. That's why I want to go through an entire new playthrough, to learn the details that I had forgotten about the different areas in the game. Because there are pieces of information everywhere, including in side quests, that can potentially help with the overall lore. As for the world that we are going on, this is going to be a bit of a tricky one, because Quintandia is a preferred world, for example. This is why it has the star. However, being a preferred world, it will mean that we can easily outlevel the MSQ. To a point, it might be a bit frustrating to go through it, in my opinion. Because I could end up being level 30 and barely reaching level 15 of the MSQ. Especially with the idea that I am doing the side quests. So what am I going to do is I am going to put my character on a regular server. And I think I will go for Odin. And I'll put her here. Now, the name Roselle Arquette. And we can start our adventure.
Here. Here. Feel.
Oi! Oh, as a heads up, I am not really good at making voices when it comes to voice acting and reading the lines in character. But I think that most of the time I will just read these in my regular voice. It also helps with the throat, to be fair, because I am not used to talking a lot, so it can put a strain on my voice. You can kind of consider this playthrough as a way for me to practice a speech as well. You all right, lass? You were moaning in your sleep and sweating buckets besides. That'll be the ether, I reckon. Some are more prone to the sickness than others. No need to fret, though. You'll soon get used to it. Of course. Those little muggles are so cute. I personally love the muggles. Feeling better, Kupo? Aha, you can see us. I had a feeling you could, Kupo. We're muggles and we live in this wood. Normal folks can't see or hear us, which makes you special, Kupo. And seeing as how you're special, maybe you can tell us something. The wood's been restless of late, lots of strange things happening. Have you chanced to witness anything suspicious, Kupo? But of course you haven't. You've only just arrived. Well, there's nothing for it then. We'll just have to keep looking. Nice to meet you, Kupo. And they're off. Just look at them. What strange little fellows is Roselle thinking right now? Gridania's still a fair way off, in case you were wondering. Seeing as you're awake, how's about you keep me company till we get there? Them young'uns don't much care for conversation, see? Bremont's the name and peddling's me trade. As for your good self, judging by your unusual garments, I'd say you are one of them new adventurers. Am I warm? Indeed you are, my good sir. I knew it. Going wherever the wind blows, seeking fortune and glory. Now that's what I call living. So long as you can avoid dying, I mean. Ain't no secret that adventuring's a risky business, these days especially. What was it that first attracted you to it? As Roselle ponders a bit, her answer would definitely be in the sense of, overall adventure and exploration, and wanting to learn more about the world, the elementals, the overall connection to ether. So she is more of a discoverer and more like on a self-discovery type of journey. For this, we will go with the last option. Well, if you ain't inclined to tell, I ain't about to pry. Might be as old Bremont's a chatterbox, but he sure as hell ain't no busybody. We all have a secret or three, don't we? Me? Dozens. And I'd rather they stayed secret too. Which is why I don't go sticking me nose where it ain't welcome. Just remember though, there's more important things than fortune and glory, such as breathing. Ain't no profit in being dead, and that's a fact. Halt! Go no further. What's this then? Ah! What's going on? A skirmish has broken out up ahead with the Ixal. For your own safety, you must remain here until... And there are the Ixal. Bloody hells. We shall hold them here. Try to break clear. Roselle is thinking to herself that even in these parts of the woods, there is conflict. And even so close to the city. That was too bleeding close. Nice of the Ixal to send us a welcoming party, though, eh? Joking aside, this won't be the last time you meet those feathered fiends. So just you take care, all right? By the by, is this your first trip to Gridania? Actually, it is not. I have been here a few times in the past when I was younger. Thought not. Ah, but I'll wager there have been some changes since you last visit. Allow a journeyed itinerant to teach you a few new things about your destination. Ahem. The city of Gridania lies slap bang in the middle of the Black Shroud, the biggest, lushest forest in all Eorzea. Though it ain't near as lush as it used to be, saying that, not since the calamity laid half of it to waste. The destruction prompted a herd of new nasties to move in, and gave the Ixal unneeded encouragement. Birdmen raids have become a daily occurrence. Ah, at long last. Behold Gridania, the forest nation blessed by the elementals, and the quick cut. I have to go and answer the door. I am not alone living in my apartment here, so there might be like small disturbances, which I will cut in the video as you see, just to make sure that we don't have any really long blank spaces.
The Black Shroud, the ancient forest, close to the heart of Eorzea. Beneath the boughs of its towering trees lies the woodland city-state of Gridania. Once a sanctuary from the world beyond the hedge, even the mighty elementals, eternal guardians of the forest, could not forestall the coming of the seventh umbral era. However, the goddess Nofika was never one to forsake her children, and today she welcomes another brave soul. One who may yet play a telling role in the tale of this great realm.
And here's where we part ways, lass. I'm off to the markets to deliver me wares, then it's back to the high road for me. Here, I want you to have this by way of thanks for keeping me company. Hey, you never did tell me your name, did you? Well, here's an idea. Become the sort of storied personage I can brag about having met, and I'll consider us square.
May the matron take her to her bosom, that she may never want. and in her heart sow serenity, purity, and sanctity.
And we have our title drop, Final Fantasy XIV. Ah, it's refreshing being back at the start of A Realm Reborn. As Roselle walks in through the gate, she can't help but take a glance at the laughing children, the young recruits, the beautiful greenery around. This is her kind of town, and a place she would love to live in. You there, yes, you. Your face is not known to me, newly come to this city, no doubt. I am Bertanal, a wood whaler of Gridania. It is my duty to protect our nation from her enemies while welcoming those who may yet prove her friends. Let us see which you are. And we have the start of our journey. Now I'm kind of tempted going for the gamepad, honestly. Usually I play mouse and keyboard, and especially when it comes to certain actions like for instance, the chat or going through the menus, I do prefer the keyboard and mouse. But I have been dying to learn more about combat with the gamepad. So, because it can be very convenient sometimes, at least for DPS. I doubt I would be able to actually properly heal as a player on controller, at least in my case. But I think DPS and tank might be a good option. So I don't know, do we want to try the gamepad one? Although for the sake of the playthrough, because this isn't going to be the only character I play necessarily. You know, for the sake of the playthrough, let's just go with the mouse and keyboard as usual, since that is what most of you use. And for those that are considering getting into the game, this might be, you know, a better way to see the UI and the customizable options. Oh, another thing though, on the gamepad, I do find the UI a bit cleaner when it comes to the buttons. You know what? No, we are going to do a crazy challenge of going through the entire thing with a gamepad, as someone that has played the game mainly on mouse and keyboard, to make this a bit more interesting, so you can kind of see me fail at times, probably. And we have over here the explanation of how this works. It's pretty standard, like B is cancel, A is to select target or confirm stuff, X is to display the map or sub-commands, Y is the jump button. You can cycle through the party members with the up and down D-pad, and then through the available targets with the left and right D-pad. Then you have like the main menu is the start, of course. Back is to cycle through HUD components. Turn off and on auto run, which is the left button. The auto run can be useful to save time sometimes. Then cycle through hotbars, which is the right button. And when held, ready hotbar. The trigger buttons are pretty much like when you hold them, you have access to your abilities. But I will still use the mouse for the occasional stuff here and there, so. And especially to properly arrange this, for example. Like the sprint, I'm leaving it where it is, but I don't think I need the teleport and the return skill over here, since we do already have those again on this hotbar. So I'm going to take these out. We have the info about initiating quests. Now, since I already know the game, I won't be going through these, but any new players out there, make sure that you read all of the tips. To be recognized as an adventurer in the city-state of Gridania, you must first register yourself with the Adventurers Guild. Another green adventurer, I presume? I thought as much. We cannot allow strangers to wander Gridania unchecked and untested. Before you rush off and begin pestering every second citizen for work, I suggest you make yourself known at the Carline Canopy. That's the headquarters of the local Adventurers Guild, in case you're wondering. The Carline Canopy is the building you see behind me. Speak to Mother Mion within, and she will take you in hand. You have begun a quest. Very well, Bertrand. I will go and seek this Mother Mion you mentioned. Oh, also, let me zoom in so we can see our character a bit better. Like I said, I may still use part of the controls when it comes to mouse and keyboard, but we will mainly do gameplay on the controller. Well, well, what have we here? A wide-eyed and wondering young adventurer come to put your name down at the guild, I assume? Welcome. Mion's my name, or Mother Mion as most call me, and the Carline Canopy is my place. As the head of the Adventurers Guild in Gridania, I have the honor of providing guidance to the fledgling heroes who pass through our gates. No matter your ambitions, the guild is here to help you attain them. In return, we expect you to fulfill your duties as an adventurer by assisting the people of Gridania. A fine deal, wouldn't you agree? To an outsider's eyes, all may seem well with our nation, but naught could be further from the truth. The people live in a state of constant apprehension. The Ixal and various gangs of common bandits provide an unending supply of trouble. Trouble compounded by the ever-present threat of the Garlean Empire to the north. And that is to say nothing of the calamity. Even now, the wounds have barely begun to heal. Ah, but I speak of it as if you were there. Forgive me. 5 years past, Eorzea was well nigh laid to waste when a dread worm emerged from within the lesser moon, Dalamud, and rained fire upon the realm. It is this which people call the calamity. Scarcely a square malm of the Twelvewood was spared in the devastation, yet despite the forest's extensive wounds, not a soul among us can recall precisely how it all happened. I am well aware of how improbable that must sound to an outsider. It is improbable, but it's also true. For reasons we can ill explain, the facts surrounding the calamity are shrouded in mystery. There are as many versions of events as there are people willing to recount them. Yet amidst the hazy recollections and conflicting accounts, all agree on one thing. That Eorzea was saved from certain doom by a band of valiant adventurers. Whatever else we've misremembered, none of us have forgotten the heroes who risked life and limb for the sake of the realm. And yet, whenever we try to say their names, the words die upon our lips. And whenever we try to call their faces to mind, we see naught but silhouettes amidst a blinding glare. Thus have these adventurers come to be known as the Warriors of Light. Pray do not feel daunted by the deeds of legends. We do not ask that you become another Warrior of Light, only that you do what you can to assist the people of Gridania. Great or small, every contribution counts. I trust you will play your part. All that's left then is to conclude the business of registration. Here's a quill. Scroll your name right there. Oh, and I would appreciate it if you used your real name. There is a special place in the 7th Hell for those who use amusing aliases. Which is the game's way of saying, please use actual proper names instead of going for memes. Roselle Arquette, are you quite sure that it isn't an amusing alias? My name is as real as it can be, Mother Meow. Very well. From this moment forward, you are a registered adventurer of Gridania, nation blessed of the elementals and the bounty of the Twelveswood. The guild expects great things from you. Look at what just arrived, another goddamned adventurer. Don't you start with that. Adventurers are the very solve that Gridania needs. The Elder Seer herself bade us welcome them with open arms. Do you mean to disregard her will? Of course not, lest you forget it is my sworn duty to uphold the peace. Am I to blame if outsiders bring mistrust upon themselves? You, adventurer, mind that you do not cause any trouble here, or I shall personally cast you out of this realm and into the 7th Hell. Very untrusting. Pay that outburst no mind. He meant only to counsel you. Suspicious characters have been prowling the Twelveswood of late, you see, and the Wood Whalers feel they cannot afford to take any chances. As is often the way with folk who live in isolation, Gridanians are wont to mistrust things they do not well know, your good self included. Fear not, however. Given a catalogue of exemplary deeds and no more than a handful of years, the locals will surely warm to you. On behalf of my fellow citizens, I welcome you to Gridania. May you come to consider our nation as your own in time. Now then, you may depend on old Mother Mion to teach you a few things that every adventurer should know. And we have our first quest completed. And this concludes the tutorial, pretty much. And as you can see, the experience in the game isn't that bad early on as it is. Imagine that if I had the XP buff, I would have been already a level 3 or 4 instead of level 2. Mion, proprietress of the Caroline Canopy, wants you to perform 3 tasks that will help you learn the fundamentals of adventuring. Let us begin at the beginning, shall we? Now that you are a formal member of the Adventurers Guild, we must be sure you have a firm grasp of the fundamentals of adventuring. To that end, I have 3 tasks I wish you to perform. Your first task is to visit the Aetheryte. This massive crystal stands in the middle of the Aetheryte Plaza, not far from the Caroline Canopy. As a device that enables instantaneous transportation, the Aetheryte plays a key role in the life of the ever-wandering adventurer. Once you have located the crystal, all you need to do is touch its surface. A member of the Wood Whalers will be present to offer further instruction. For your second task, you are to visit the Archers Guild. There is no better place to learn the arts of the bow. Speak with Athelina and she will explain the benefits of joining the guild. For your third and final task, I would have you visit the markets at the heart of all Gridania's commercial district. There you shall find weapons and armor, and all the various items that an adventurer might need on her travels. There is, however, more to the markets than buying and selling goods. Speak with Parsemontre and listen well to his counsel. The master merchant can be uncooperative at times, so be sure to offer him one of my famous eel pies. Like so many men, he is much more charitable when his stomach is full. Here, I made the batch not long ago. You have your tasks, Roselle. May Nofika guide your path. Ah, and one more thing. Should you happen to come across any citizen in need, don't be afraid to proffer a helping hand. I am certain they will be pleased to meet an adventurer in whom they can confide their woes. Granted, the work they offer is unlikely to be realm-shattering importance, but prove your worth and build a reputation, and in time folk would be more inclined to entrust you with matters of moment. I also suggest that you lend an ear to the smith here in the canopy. The smiths are trusted representatives of the Adventurers Guild, and are an invaluable source of advice for neophyte heroes seeking to attain greatness. And we are going to go and talk with the smith because they actually have an interesting lore bit that pretty much explains the mentor system in the game. I like how in Final Fantasy they did work on providing lore explanations for some of its features. Greetings, I am one of the smiths, a stoker of fires and forger of futures. As a dedicated member of the Adventurers Guild, I have been entrusted with the task of providing assistance to new adventurers. I see you have but recently taken up the Adventurer's mantle. The possibilities stretching out before you must be positively daunting. In the Adventurers Guild, we see new adventurers as fledgling heroes. You are our champions of tomorrow, our nascent stars of limitless potential. My fellow smiths and I are here to provide you with guidance, but the guild also enlists a cadre of veteran adventurers who will be happy to share with you their accumulated wisdom. You can recognize these helpful men and women by their title of mentor. Mentors stand ready to advise you on any aspect of adventuring. They have hundreds of quests under their belt and will likely have a solution for whatever dilemma might be causing you trouble. A mentor may even offer to accompany you on your adventures. I highly recommend that you take the advantage of a mentor's aid to enrich your experience in Eorzea. Pray do not hesitate to ask me if you would like to know more. And this will explain you about the new adventurer status and more about the adventurer system and like what mentors are about, the novice network, which is a good place to join if you need any advice. But for this playthrough, we are going to not join that network. Still, if you are completely new to the game, I do advise you give it a go. And we are going to carry on Mother Mion's tasks for now, but in the meantime, Bernadette does have something for us. A good adventurer is hard to find. Newly come to Gridania, are you? In search of fame and fortune, perhaps? If you have confidence in your abilities, I urge you to speak with Chansteloop of the God's Quiver. You can find him standing vigil before the Archers Guild. The creatures of the Twelveswood have been behaving most unnaturally of late, and it has fallen to the God's Quiver to pacify them. Alas, they are sorely undermanned. For this reason, they seek able adventurers to supplement their ranks. I am certain that your offer of aid would be well received. Why, certainly, Bernadette. I will definitely go and visit him because I actually need to stop by the Archers Guild, so it's right in my way, is what Roselle would be saying. We are going to attune to our Iserite. Greetings, adventurer. I see you are faithfully following Mother Meow's instructions. Allow me to offer you a bit of instruction myself. I am Nisia of the Wood Whalers, and I know a thing or two about the Aetherite. Yes, that big crystal right there. Aetherites are devices that tap into ethereal energies and are primarily used as a means to travel swiftly from one place to another. Return and teleport, the most common transportation spells, make direct use of the Aetherite and their connection to the flow of ether. And as these devices are found in almost every corner of Eorzea, any adventurer worthy of the name will wish to seek out and attune herself to each one. Truly, few things in this world are so useful to an intrepid explorer. But you need not locate them all at once. Before rushing out into the wilds, I suggest you start with the Aetherites found here in Gridania. Should you wish to learn more about the Aetherite or transportation magic, I am here to answer your questions. And this will provide us our return spell. The return basically sends you back to whichever Aetherite is your home destination. By default, it will be to the first one you attune. So for instance, in my case, it's this big one here in Gridania. But I also can register a free destination because I have the security token. And I'm going to do just that because we are going to be going back in Gridania quite a few times. Now Roselle would probably take a look around the town, considering everything, and she'll take in the people she meets, the lovely sights, a lovely detail on the world itself that I didn't notice the first time I played the game and I went through the story. They do have like signs for every location, like the carpenter, the botanist, and it's really, really lovely. They also have the place decorated properly. And let's see what Idel wants first. Preserving the past. Idel is looking for an adventurer to deliver a forgotten item. Ah, an adventurer. Precisely what we needed. Not a moment ago, we dispatched our newest recruit, Arthur, to inspect Miketo's amphitheater. Regrettably, the young Hure has more spirit than sense, and he charged off without his tools. Suffice it to say, he won't be getting any work done. Would you be so kind as to deliver them to him? Wonderful. Seek out Llewellyn in the acorn orchard behind the atrium. He should have Arthur's tools. Well, let's go and retrieve the tools. Also, you will notice the decorations for Halloween, since I am recording this while the Halloween event is still on. But it should be disabled in a few hours or so. And this is Llewellyn. Idel sent you. Give me a moment. Here they are, still fresh and unused as the day he got them. Doubt he's even realized he left the bloody things behind. First day and he forgets his tools. Daft sod needs a kick up the... Yes, well, we understand what you mean, and I understand your concerns, Llewellyn. Nicolio also has a few things. I know all about adventurers. You'll do anything for a reward, won't you? Well, I wouldn't necessarily say anything, but tell me, lad, what is it that you need? Well then, I want you to make Annalie laugh. He's no good with strangers, so first you should introduce yourself politely with a bow. Ah, this is the quest that teaches you about emotes, but it also teaches you about Annalie a bit, which is fairly interesting. So Annalie is sad, so we will go and do a little bow for her. I love that the Elizan emotes are very graceful. Hi! That seemed to work, but she still looks sad. Try sharing the joy in your heart with her. That'll prove how nice you are. Oh, there we go. So, joy. You're odd. Also, I do have some experience with the menu and the controllers. That's why I know where the emotes are, but I don't have experience with high-end gameplay. I think she's starting to like you. Good. Now that you've broken the ice, I bet that if you surprise her and just start dancing, she'll laugh her head off. The dance emote over here. You're a good dancer, miss. That looked like fun. Maybe I should try it sometime. Thank you. You're pretty good at this. Annalie lost her father 5 years ago doing all of the fighting. She hasn't laughed much since then. I wanted to... I mean, we're all worried, but a lot of the younglings have been following me around lately, and... you wouldn't understand. Anyway, thanks for the help. So while the quest may seem like just your basic learn how to emote, there is actually a deeper meaning behind your actions, and Nicolio, like, I have a feeling he has a bit of a crush on Annalie, and part of the reason why he wants to make her happy again. But overall, you can see that the children care for her. But see, even this kid over here, you're not supposed to be back here, you. He's probably concerned for Annalie and just wants her to be happy as well. So we did visit around these parts. I believe our next stop... I mean, we could go down this path over here. We should probably carry on to visit the Archers Guild and the markets. And this is why I like to do the side quests as well, because like I said, some of them can be really charming and you can learn more about the people around. And you can actually talk with some NPCs. For instance, Nofika's altar is a holy place. It is here that hearers communicate the will of the elementals to men. The elementals govern all aspects of life in the Twelveswood, from the creatures we may hunt to the articles we may bring into their domain. As a result, foreign merchants dread visiting this place, conscious that their wares may be unwanted. We'll see, an actual interesting fact from Pimo over here. Not only do they explain a bit of the altar, but they also explain how merchants rarely visit precisely because of the elementals. And, well, at least merchants outside of Gridania. And this is the first Aetheryte within the city, like the smaller shards, which gives you access to the Ethernet. The Ethernet is a quick way to teleport between points inside the city. So it's a very good shortcut. We don't really have anything to do at the altar, so we are just going to take in the sights and be on our way. Actually, we don't have anything to do necessarily right now, but we will have to go there. Now I remembered. In the meantime, a Melaine over here. You there, you are an adventurer, yes? Good, I have a task for you. Take yourself over to the Conjurer's Guild and speak with my student Briar. She has her hands full preparing for the auguries and would likely welcome your assistance. In her excitement of becoming a conjurer, I feel my young disciple is pushing herself beyond the limits of her endurance. Enthusiasm is all well and good, but it would not do to have an initiate collapse from exhaustion. Well, I guess we are returning back to the altar. That was a very well placed quest. I guess let's go talk to Brian, because the markets aren't going anywhere. And there is Brian. Yes, I am Briar, but I am also awfully... Oh, you said Lady Malane herself asked you to assist me? In that case, I suppose you might lend a hand, especially as mine appear to be shaking, though only very slightly. Not that it's anything to worry about, mere nervous energy. I would be exceedingly grateful if you would take this Azima Rose oil and refill the sensors. There are 2 that require attention. Please have a care not to disturb the conjurers amid their meditations. You must be as quiet and unobtrusive as possible. Oh, and she does have another quest for us. Might you perchance be comfortable around the Vilekin? If so, I have urgent need of your assistance. You see, I was preparing for the forthcoming auguries when I found, to my great embarrassment, that we lack the requisite quantity of scarlet oil. If it's not too much to ask, I would be most grateful if you could resupply us in time for the ceremony. Scarlet oil can be harvested from ladybugs, such as those found near the bannock. 6 of the Vilekin should yield the necessary amount. Pray return to me as soon as you have it. Wow, so she did mention the auguries, which Malane also mentioned earlier. My thanks. I must admit to being rather impressed by how faithfully you followed my instructions. I had always considered adventurers to be an uncouth and rowdy lot, but I see you are capable of courtesy as well. Lady Malane has a fine eye for character. You should feel honored that she chose you for the task. And as mentioned before, they poke around at the fact that they still untrust adventurers or outsiders. Again, this is most likely because, like the Wood Whaler from the start mentioned, a lot of them caused trouble. I could imagine some of them even getting drunk probably at the tavern and then causing a ruckus. Let's proceed to our next venue. By the way, I love Gridania. It's my favorite starting city of the free. And one of my favorite places overall because I just love the forest vibe. Even the small city itself, it's very quaint and charming. I love how the lights turn on around the houses. The fireflies, by the way, which you can see over here at the windmill, which are very lovely. And like I said, the warm lights when you see these like cottage styled buildings. Which, by the way, this is pretty much like a merchant. But judging by the sign over there, you could say it's like an apothecary. And I do love the way it's decorated. Because I'm pretty sure that is the sign for an apothecary. And Samian over here does have something for us as well. A botanist named Samian is hoping that an adventurer will pick up scattered rose hips for her. Stop right there, not another step. I apologize if I have startled you, but please be careful. The ground here is covered in rose hips. You see, my seed pouch had grown so threadbare that it finally split open. Unbeknown to myself, I've been scattering Azima rose hips all along this road. Oh, good madam, if you would help me gather them, I'd be ever so grateful. Thank you. Your kindness is truly a blessing from the elementals. The rose hips should be lying on the road between here and the Great Loam Growery. Remember to tread lightly lest you crush them underfoot. Also, Azima is actually one of the names of one of the 12 gods in the lore. So she is an actual goddess, and she has like a rose named after her. I also find these type of quests charming to be able to learn the locations, because they do sometimes mention the names. Like, for instance, right now they did mention Great Loam Growery, which is this area over here where they pretty much grow different type of plants. Which for a while I had actually completely forgotten about this name. But Ethelred has something for us as well. God damn it, another adventurer? You're like flies on muck. Whatever Gridania did to deserve such a plague, I don't know. I suppose times are changing and they keep telling me I should, and perhaps you might be. Oh gods help me, just take this Azima rose to well-do of Stillglade Fane, will you? Well, what are you still standing here for? Go and deliver the bloody rose. I trust that he doesn't like adventurers either. And we do have another Ethernet shard over here. And because it might actually... Actually, I'm not sure. Should we teleport or should we... We actually have a bunch of quests to deliver around here, so we are going to go back. We do have to give the rose hips to Samyan as well. Samyan, I found all of your rose hips. Good madam, pray tell me you have recovered all the rose hips and abandoned not one to a traveler's boot. I did precisely just that. I hope the roses will be okay, since roses are one of my favorite flowers, is what Roselle is saying. Blessing be upon you. I feared this path would be lined with roses next year. Well, that wouldn't be quite such a bad sight to see. Not that such a wondrous sight would be wholly objectionable. See, she does agree with Roselle. But Azima roses are ill-suited to this location. As a botanist, it's my responsibility to see Gridania's plants grow and thrive in the most ideal conditions. A place for every seed, and every seed in its place, you might say. 'Twas most gracious of you to aid me in my time of need. I pray the elementals extend you the same kindness. Well, she actually had some of the same ideas Roselle had, because Roselle does enjoy roses a lot. It's one of her favorite flowers. So Azima roses, a path of Azima roses would have been quite lovely to see. Let's attune to our next shard, because it's very useful having all of these. In the meantime, I could also hop by the delivery Moogle, because I do have mail from the mounts and other items I've acquired, either through my subscription, because I did sub back when there were veteran rewards back in the day. I believe they did remove them now, but... Well, they do not completely removed it. They work a bit differently to how they used to. And I also have some mounts that are account-wide, and also some minions that I got with, for instance, Eorzea Encyclopedia. So, let's see. Greetings, tall one. I'm a delivery Moogle, Coupel. Oh, I know what you're thinking. Muggles are supposed to hide in trees and avoid contact with outsiders. Why ever would they agree to carry about letters? Why, indeed, if I had my way, I'd be curled up under the canopy of a nice oak, dreaming about some beautiful Muglet with a rainbow-colored pom-pom, Coupel. But no, the moon had to go and drop from the sky causing all of that terrible commotion. Aetherites were shattered and link pearls rendered useless. For moons, the poor wingless people of Eorzea had no way of communicating with each other, beyond screaming at the top of their lungs, which no one really approved of, Kupil. That is, until the little horned ones asked us to insist them by delivering messages. At first, we were wary of showing ourselves, worried that one of you might catch and skin us, like you do every other forest furry. But once we saw how much we were appreciated, we knew we'd found our new calling. And I personally promised to try and not read any along the way, Kupo. Look at what we have here. 10 new letters have arrived just for you, Kupo. I also like how they explain the Mughal delivery service, and they tie it in with the actual calamity. And it makes sense, because with the calamity, a lot of technology would probably have been destroyed, or it would have malfunctioned. So they would have to resort to older traditions of writing letters. We are going to take all of these, just so we can get this out of the way. Also, it kind of ties in with the Mughals that we meet at the start, because the Mughals that we meet at the start mentioned that not just anyone can see them, right? However, this one mentioned that he allowed himself to be seen. But this is an explanation on why later on you can just see the Mughals fine as well. And these ones that you see that are delivery Mughals, you can see them well enough because they are allowing themselves to be seen. That is kind of how I understood this part. And we are done with the mail. That we have taken care of that. And let's give Arthur his tools that he has been waiting for. What? I'm terribly busy right now and would thank you not to bother me. I'm a carpenter of the prestigious oak atrium and I have repairs to... Well, you can't properly repair anything without your tools. Where did I put my... Oh gods, I take it you're from the guild too then? What's that? Edel sent you? With my tools? Yes. I was actually just about to go and, and this is so embarrassing. My apologies, it's just... I've been so focused on the task at hand. You know, it's a miracle this amphitheater even survived the calamity. It was the Carpenters Guild that saved it, moving it piece by piece and rebuilding it. When I saw what they had done for Gridania, I knew what I wanted to be. But gods, when they told me my first task was to come here... Anyway, thank you for bringing me my tools. You're new to the Oak Atrium too, right? Well, let's both work hard for the good of the guild, eh? Oh, and may the elementals watch over you and keep you safe. I'm not a recruit of the Carpenters Guild, but I might consider it. In the future. I must say the atrium, the amphitheater is looking lovely. But Estain also has some troubles for us. Greetings, traveler. Come to see Miketo's famed amphitheater, have you? I am Estain, caretaker of this fine centerpiece of Gridanian culture, and I fear I must needs trouble you for your assistance. You see, it is not only well-meaning women like yourself who are drawn to this place. The sylphs often visit in the dead of night, long after our citizens have gone to bed. We have no particular objection to their presence, and they seem grateful for the accommodation. So much so, in fact, that last night they left us a token of their appreciation, in the form of vegetables. A lot of vegetables. Their generosity is more than welcome, of course, but the sheer quantity of the things makes gathering them all something of a chore. And it's not as if I don't have enough to do already. In short, I'd be most grateful for any help you could give me. And we have our first bit of information on the sylphs as well. We will be meeting the sylphs later on in the story too, so this is actually another piece of information I kind of overlooked. That they did mention how the offerings over here were their way of giving us gifts, which is apparently a custom of theirs. Well done, friend. Miketo herself would sing you praise. She knew well the power of art, how it could strengthen the soul of a nation and preserve its history for future generations. This amphitheater was her greatest gift to Gridania, and it was her wish that all folk use it freely, not only for performances and festivals, but as a place to share memories and make new ones. I wonder if the sylphs come here to do just that. That said, I do wish they would find other ways to express their gratitude. We have no need of vegetables here, but mayhap the Caroline canopy can make use of them. Anyway, thanks be to the elementals for bringing you here today. Let's see what Duima-san has to say. Duima-san has need of an adventurer to deliver a message. You there, adventurer, could you deliver a message to me? My superior Millicent is stationed outside Atelier Fenil. She's doubtless busy, but I'm past due to be relieved. Long past due, truth be told. However, I can't simply abandon my post. Speak to her for me, would you? But choose your words wisely. She has a bit of a temper. Well, we are heading towards the markets, so we could stop by Millicent, of course, because she is on the way there. And you will notice that, like I mentioned, every building has that little icon above its door. You could easily play this game without any HUD and still be able to tell where everything is, which is amazing. What's all this about? Duima-san says he needs his break. The nerve of that sniveling little shite, crying for relief at a time like this. Has he already forgotten how short-handed we are since that business with the Ixal the other day? And sending a bloody unknown venturer to do his bleeding, no less. That self-serving sod thinks only of his own woes, rubbing his sore soles while welcoming all manner of gill-grabbing venturer into our holy wood. Useless bloody fool. Makes me blood boil, it does. Ah, but it's not you I should be giving a piece of me mind to. You seem a decent enough sort, considering. Still, understand that it's our duty to keep an eye on every stranger that passes through these parts. Any road, I appreciate you lending an ear to my subordinate. Damn fool that he is. Go on then, and stay out of trouble. Well, a bit of a temper is right. I would hate working for her. Sorry to missound, but you're on your own. And we can also attune to this over here. Ah, and we can now talk to Dawntrail. By what right does a fledgling adventurer presume to address Dawntrail, master of the markets? You think you can stroll in here bold as you please and demand my hard-earned knowledge? Huh, a merchant does not for naught, especially when dealing with would-be heroes. If, on the other hand, you had some tasty morsel to curry my favor, then I might consider your request. Come now, this whole encounter reeks of Mion's handiwork, and more specifically, her baking. Don't look so surprised, lass. I smelled that eel pie of yours a malm away. hand it over. Well then. Oh, give me... There we go. That flaky crust. Just divine. Very well, I am a man of my word. Pay close attention, for I shall only explain this once. The aspiring adventurer need look no further than the rosewood and ebony stalls. Both are but a short stroll from where we stand. If you mean to battle, you'd best be prepared with a quality set of weapons and armor. Such goods are the province of the rosewood stalls, directly south of here. You will be pleased to learn that the merchants of Gridania are exceedingly particular when it comes to craftsmanship, so you needn't fear defective straps and the like. If it is potions and paraphernalia you seek, head north to the ebony stalls. The shelves there are lavishly stocked by widely traveled Uldan merchants, and I may truly say that I have seen things amongst their myriad wares that I scarce knew existed. Do you follow me thus far? The first step in any purchase is to select the stalls that meet your needs. Then you may concern yourself with the price and profit. There is little more I can teach you with mere words. Go, peruse the stalls and see for yourself what wares they offer. There is no substitute for first-hand experience after all, and I am wary of talking, unless you have another eel pie. Oh, well, I do not have any eel pie, but it seems you have something for me. I take it my previous explanation did not suffice to sate your curiosity. Very well. If you wish to know more of the markets, I shall give you a practical education, free of charge. As master of the markets, I entertain many requests, disorder from the whalers, for example, but I delegate their fulfillment to my hirelings that I might tend to such tasks as I alone am capable of performing. For your personal betterment, I shall delegate the fulfillment of this particular request to you. I bid you search the stalls for a bone spearhead, a pot of beeswax oil, and a length of a brambleweed rope, and deliver them to Saint-Goulet of the Lancers Guild. There is much and more to be found in these stalls, if you have the dedication to seek it and the coin to procure it. However, as my representative, you need only offer my name as payment. None will deny me. In fact, many will be all too eager to part with their wares. So numerous are the debts I am owed. That doesn't sound too well, my good man. A fine proposition, is it not? I am spared a simple task, and you gain priceless mercantile experience. Why, I should rightly charge you for such an opportunity. But worry not, I am a man of my word, and the terms will stand. Deliver the goods to Saint-Goulet, and she may even see fit to reward you. Sorry if I am butchering any of the names. I am trying to pronounce these as best as I can. If by chance I am pronouncing some things wrong, do let me know so I know the proper pronunciation. Or maybe I make a mistake with something else. But in general, the names are what I am always in doubt of, especially these type of names. Sorry, lass, we ain't open yet. Oh, one of Parsimon trays? Well'n, what was it you said you wanted? A bone spearhead? Ah, here she is. Take it and tell that bastard we're square. Well, that was quick. Admiranda, tool supplier. Oh, welcome, welcome. At the behest of good master Parthemon Tray, you say? To what do we owe the pleasure of your company today, my lady? May I take this opportunity to say that it is an honor and a privilege to serve you? Ah, but you must have your beeswax oil without delay. Yes, yes. Feel free to take as much as you require. And you will of course inform Master Parsimon Trey that I was only too happy to accommodate his needs, right? So Admiranda is pretty much like very polite, and probably because she's afraid of Parsimon Trey. Let's be fair, all of these merchants seem to be a bit afraid of him. Give me a second to turn on my light because my tracking is becoming a bit weird. There we go. That was just a quick stop. You got discerning eyes, miss. The craftsmanship's truly something, ain't it? Perfect for securing any manner of Parsimon Trey. Gods, if I never hear that bloody name again, it'll be too soon. And here I was thinking I might make a guild today. Here, take the damn brambleweed rope and bugger off. It kind of makes you think what he might have against them. Oh, and I didn't notice this sign before either. Pretty much it tells you that up ahead we have the Lancers Guild, and also there is a ferry to the right of the Lancers Guild, which is over here. You can see the boat sign as well. Like down this this path, we have a ferry that we will use later on to go to a certain location. But in the meantime, a sign saying Goulet. What business have you with me, adventurer? You come upon the bidding of Master Parsimon Trey? I have come bearing goods, a bone spearhead, beeswax oil, and your brambleweed rope, which apparently you need. So soon? I am impressed. I placed my order only a short time ago, yet here are all the items I requested. Truly, Master Parsimon Trey is every bit as resourceful as they say. You are fortunate to work under such a man. You would do well to mold yourself in his image, if you have any aspirations as a merchant. I can't say it's one of my aspirations, but I will take heed of that. And Boysolon has something for us inside the Lancers Guild. Ah, a fresh-faced adventurer, the very manner of person I had wished to meet. The Lancers Guild is looking for someone to track down and exterminate half a dozen squirrels. The infernal pests have been squeezing in under our floorboards every eve for the past several moons, and gnawing away at the support pillars. They have yet to inflict any serious structural damage, thanks the builder, but I hesitate to bring such a trifling matter before the wood whalers or the gods quiver, hence my delight at your timely arrival. Why, an adventurer who could not dispatch such woodland nuisances is not worthy of the name. Not here in Gridania, at any rate. And you know what becomes of incapable adventurers? Ah, but perhaps it is best you do not. The squirrels of which I spoke can be found in the central shroud. Return to me once you have disposed of them, assuming the task is not beyond you. For your sake, I sincerely hope it's not. It is definitely not beyond us, and I would be more than glad to help you out. The more adventures I go on, the more I can explore and the more I can learn about this place. And we are going to use the Ethernet system to pretty much go and turn in the remainder of our quests. Like for instance, at the Conjurer's Guild, we do have Waldu, which I did need to give the Azima Rose to. Welcome, adventurer, to the Conjurer's Guild. Here we commune with the elementals and heed their guidance. Yet I must confess, the elementals did not whisper of your coming. We did indeed request an Azima Rose from Ethelred, but that you should bring it to us in his stead means that something wonderful has happened. Ethelred has long held a grudge against the many adventurers who have passed through Gridania's gates. His beloved flowers are renowned for their beauty, you see, and were once so highly coveted by Ul'dan collectors that they were picked nigh to extinction by fortune-seeking foreigners. Yes, yet if it is peace we desire, we must all learn to look beyond mistrust born of the past and overcome our prejudices. So has the elder seeds here taught us, and so do we live. I doubt it was easy for Ethelred to entrust this Azima rose to you. When he hears we have received it, he will come to know that not all outsiders are deserving of scorn. Truly, it was by the will of the elementals that you came to us this day. Please accept this as a token of our gratitude. And we have the explanation on why Ethelred didn't want to give us the rose initially. Ethelred being the man we met in the growery. The one that pretty much cursed at us at the start and then just handed us the rose and said, well, what are you waiting here for? Be off then. To put it nicely. So we have delivered this. Oh, I do have to speak to Chancellor. Chancellor was... I believe he was around the other side in New Gridania. Because the city of Gridania is split into Old Gridania and New Gridania. And yeah, he's at the Archers Guild. So we will go to the main plaza, and from there we will visit the Archers Guild, which is also our last destination from Mother Mione. Also, as a heads up, any commentary on how you would like this playthrough to go is much appreciated. Any tips, whether you would like for me to actually comment between quests or while traveling, or if you want me to strictly stick with the quest text and cutscenes, or any role-playing that I may do. Because, as I mentioned, I do want to sometimes express Roselle's ideas, but I also do want to make additional comments because I just love this game so much. And we have attuned to all of the shards, which means that we also have access to fast travel outside of the city, as well as the airship landing. But first, let's talk with Chancellor. Bernadette sent you to see me? Well, inexperienced or not, if you wish to prove your worth to the people of Gridania, you are right to come. You do wish to prove yourself, do you not? And we also have our first achievement, Storyteller. This is an achievement for completing quests, so pretty much you will definitely get it. And let's see what Chancellor has in mind for us. Ordinarily, the forest of fungwars that inhabit the Central Shroud are not more than a nuisance. However, we have received reports that vast clouds of the creature's spores have rendered parts of the Twelveswood impassable, and ruined crops besides. We periodically cull the fungwar population in order to prevent such occurrences, but the creatures have taken to spawning out of season, making it even more difficult to keep their numbers in check. Though this is indeed a troubling development, the God's Quiver has more pressing concerns and can ill afford to waste time fighting fungwars. If you wish to prove yourself, go to the Central Shroud and exterminate 6 of the pests. Use caution and approach them one at a time, lest your adventuring career be cut disappointingly short. I will do so once I talk with Aselina over here and introduce myself to the Archers Guild. Also, to double check, excuse me while I do this. That was to double check the calibration because it was a bit off, so I had to cut a bit of it. So let's continue with Aselina. Greetings, friends. You have found your way to the Archers Guild. Do you seek to uncover the secrets of our art? Now that I think on it, You have the look of one who has received Mother Mion's gentle instruction. Very well, I shall give you a brief introduction to archery and Archers Guild. The skills practiced by our archers allow them to gauge an enemy's weakness from afar, and turn the tide of a battle with a single, well-placed arrow. Should you join us, you will be taught to do the same. Archery, as practiced in Gridania, was born of two distinct styles of bowmanship. The first was devised by the longbow sentries of the Elezen, who once ruled the lowlands, while the second belonged to the shortbow hunters of the formerly nomadic Mikote. As you will doubtless be aware, both races ultimately came to call the Twelveswood home. Okay, so we have some lore on the Elezen and also the Mikote, which indeed there is a fairly large population of Mikotes around, particularly Seekers of the Sun. And the Elezen, of course, like the most well-known population of Elezen are over here in Gridania, as far as I know. And it's interesting to know that they did rule the lowlands. Though the two peoples began as rivals, they gradually learned to live together in harmony. During this time, they learned from one another, their two schools of archery intermingling to give birth to the art that is known today. For a time, the bow was used primarily for hunting, but as the hunters vied with one another to prove who was the better shot, there emerged a group of archers whose ultimate goal lay not in the practical pursuit of prey, but in perfection. Thus was the Archers Guild born from the ranks of the Trappers League. It is the way of the guild to promote greatness in archery through friendly competition, and the results of our methods can be seen in the vaunted archers of the God's Quiver, many of whom spent their formative years losing arrows at the guild's practice butts. I hope that gives you a better idea of who we are and what we do here. Oh, did I see the spark of ambition flare within your eyes? If you wish to draw a string with the finest archers in Eordia, look no further than the Archers Guild. Before you can enlist, however, you must gain the approval of the Guildmaster. Once you are ready to proceed, speak with me again and we can begin seeing about your enrollment. So, are you resolved to join the Archers Guild? I am indeed. The look in your eye bespeaks your determination. It would be my pleasure to refer you to Guildmaster Lucienne. Lest you worry unduly, Lucienne is an affable and kind-hearted woman. Even those not of the guild have been known to seek her counsel on various matters, and ever have they been given fair hearing. Lucienne awaits you in the training area yonder. Present yourself before her, and impress upon her your desire to join the guild. Okay, so Lucienne is pretty much kind of like Mother Mion, where she does want to help anyone, regardless if they are an aspiring archer or not. And Famibas does have something for us as well. Hail, adventurer. Might you have a moment? I am in need of a trustworthy soul to deliver a missive to Parnell. You can find her in the shaded bower, in the midst of the markets. Why would I not simply go and speak with her myself? Well, as I am sure you have observed, Gridanians have a tendency to be rather... in person they can be, well, a little on the prickly side. The matter is not urgent. Simply hand over the missive the next time you find yourself in the markets. Please, as a favor from one adventurer to another. Let's go talk with Lucy Ann. Greetings, adventurer. I am told you wish to join our ranks. I am Lucienne, the master of the Archers Guild, and I bid you welcome. Our doors are open to all who have the will to learn. Allow me to explain the basics of our art and offer you a foretaste of that which we teach the members of our guild. The bow's greatest advantage is its range. Unlike those arms used in other disciplines of war, it allows one to strike at the enemy from afar. Though the bow may not boast the destructive force of a sword or spear, its myriad strategic applications more than compensates for this shortcoming. An experienced archer can immobilize an enemy by striking a leg or sap its strength with a poisoned arrow. Rise to become a virtuoso of archery, and a veritable deluge of death will be yours to rain down upon your foes. By fighting from a distance, we can better assess the battlefield and thereby determine the most advantageous course of action. This is of paramount import, as our role in battle is to exploit the enemy's weakness, with the requisite placement and timing, but a single arrow may serve to turn the tide. To this end, the guild seeks to instill a discerning eye within its members, that they might learn to strike at vulnerabilities swiftly and surely. Now, any half-wit can bend the bow, but it is no simple undertaking to become a skilled archer. You must be prepared for a long and arduous journey. Are you resolved to complete the journey? I am indeed. Very well. Now, before proceeding any further, I must needs gauge your innate aptitude for archery. To this end, I hereby assign you the following trial. Slay the squirrels, ladybugs, and fungwars that roam just beyond the city gates. 3 of each would suffice. In so doing, you will prove your fitness to join the Archers Guild. Report back to me when the task is accomplished. I doubt that it will trouble you unduly. And this is why I generally like to look at all of the quests within the city, because as you can probably tell from the list, there are quite a few of them that overlap. So I prefer to have them in one go and then deliver all of them in one go. So we shall be starting on our adventure, and we will be going over here to the Central Shroud. Now, another heads up. If you would like to see me perform the actual combat and see how we complete the quests as well, and basically you get an idea of the type of creatures you can find. You can also get to look at the surrounding areas a bit more, like outside of the city, for instance. You get to see more of the land. Let me know if you're okay with going through this process. If, however, going through the entire thing is a bit tedious and you would like to go like straight to the point, I can alter the following episodes so that I cut this this combat piece, and I'll just go toward, you know, the NPCs. Basically, I'll cut out the combat and skip right to when I turn in the quests. So that way it will be like fluent dialogue, if that is your wish. If you don't mind seeing the whole adventuring aspect, and maybe me making some comments here and there, then that is also fine. I'm here to adapt the playthrough to what you would prefer. And when it comes to combat, I know that it can be a bit slow, especially early on. And you don't really have anything interesting going on most of the time. So for future episodes, I can cut out this part. We still have 2 more fungwars to go. And we are done. And we can now simply return to Gridania. This will return us right to the giant Isarite in the plaza. And from there we can quickly teleport to our destinations. So, let's go to the Archers Guild first of all, because we have completed the trial successfully, and we also helped out Chance Delou. Well, well, the fledgling adventurer returned, and none the worse for wear by the look of it. Huh, you may yet be of use to this nation. We're going to get this eye patch. Another good thing about side quest is that it's a great way to acquire gear early on, especially on a new character, when you are just starting out. Welcome back, Roselle. It would seem you have successfully completed the trial. You have proven yourself worthy of a place within these halls. It is with pleasure that I name you an Archer of the Guild. As fellows of the path, let us together strive for greater mastery of our art. Now, though you may be a member of the Archers Guild, know that your seniors will not cuddle you with personal attention. It is up to you to seek out the experiences you need to grow as an archer. To this end, I present you with this hunting log. Written within are the names of such creatures as would provide a fitting challenge. Should you find yourself lacking direction, you would do well to refer to the log. By way of a first step, I encourage you to practice proper technique. Loose arrow after arrow, paying close attention to form, until the movement becomes a second nature. When drawing your bowstring has become as natural to you as drawing breath, and the world seems clearer when viewed down the shaft of an arrow, return to me. Go well, my young apprentice. And we have the hunting log available, which... the hunting log you can find over here. And you basically have these. You can go through defeating these enemies, and they give you additional experience. And they also can give you Grand Company seals, if I remember correctly. But that is for later on, to be fair. Not right now. At the start, you pretty much do them for the experience. And we do have our next quest in the Archers Guild. A good morrow to you, Roselle. I felt that it was about time you returned. Have you grown more accustomed to the bow? Before we go any further, I wish to ensure that you have grasped the fundamental essence of archery. Tell me, Roselle, do you truly understand what it means to see clearly? To see clearly is not merely to look, it is to observe with intent. Fail to do this, and no amount of talent with a bow will avail you. An archer must remain vigilant for any trace of his target, overlooking not the smallest detail unless it prove crucial to the realization of his purpose. He must, in short, see clearly. The coming task will test your powers of observation. A number of targets have been hidden throughout the city. I would have you seek out and destroy them. Each will fall easily to your heavy shot technique. When you have completed the task, return to me and we will continue. And so basically what she is trying to say is that it's not enough to just look through your eyes, but you have to be observant. Because things could always hide in plain sight. And Roselle is more than happy to complete this task. Also, it gives me a chance to see the lovely scenery some more. Nothing escapes Roselle's eyes. And we have destroyed all of the targets. Also, something you might see in the towns. There are the occasional bard bands that will play songs. Let's report back to the Archers Guild first of all. Ah, you have returned. I trust you have begun to comprehend the crucial importance of seeing clearly. The next trial will test your powers of observation in battle. Travel to the North Shroud and there put down 8 Microchus and 8 Oppo-Oppos. In contrast to the inanimate and wholly unthreatening targets of the previous trial, these creatures may be relied upon to move around and fight back. Nor are those the only differences. Being comparatively numerous, Microchus and Oppo-Oppos are anything but difficult to find, and yet you may be assured that this task will test your powers of observation, albeit in a different manner. This time you will need to evaluate the abilities of your opponent. In so doing, you will learn, amongst other things, that Microchus produce a poison that can quickly sap one's strength, while Oppo-Oppos, like archers, possess the advantage of range. Knowing their strength, how will you go about mitigating them? If you commence your attack before identifying an effective strategy, you will soon be made to regret your folly. But if you take the time to observe your targets from afar, you will surely glean the knowledge necessary to defeat them. I look forward to hearing of your success, Roselle. But before we carry on with our next task, we are going to go and complete the next quest we have. And our first one is to deliver the sealed message to Parnell, which the dear Mikote at the Archers Guild gave us. And she did say that she doesn't want to come here because Gridanians can be a bit prickly towards foreigners. Greetings, madam. Might you be looking to secure the service of a retainer? No, I have a letter for you from Famibas. What's this? A missive from Famibas, you say? Whatever could it be about? Let me see now. She wants to know about the available stocks of potions at the markets. Hardly a matter that warrants a letter, much less the hiring of a courier. Why could she not ask the question in person? I sense the adventurers from beyond our borders find Gridanians somewhat difficult to deal with. Are we truly so devoid of warmth? If we mistrust outsiders, it is only because so many of them have brought chaos to the Twelveswood, and such sins as theirs are not soon forgotten. Yet, I suppose we might endeavor to be a little less cold. It is understandable to be mistrusting of foreigners sometimes, especially if you had bad experiences with them, but it's not the correct way to go about putting them all in the same pot. Because every person is different in the end, and that applies to outsiders as well. We also have completed your quest, the Boy Salon. The squares are dealt with then? Very good. I am pleased to see you have proven yourself useful. What's that? You wonder what happens to adventurers who fail to complete such trifling tasks? Why, such sluggards soon find there is no place for them within the city. And where do they end up after leaving Gridania? Well, you shall hear the truth of that before long. Next we have Briar, because we have her scarlet oil from the ladybugs. And with this, her auguries should be able to proceed as normal. Ah, you are back. Have you procured the scarlet oil as I requested? Yes, everything appears to be in order. The ceremony may proceed as planned. I am grateful to the elementals for delivering you to us. Pray accept this small token of our appreciation. I am happy to be of service to the people of Gridania. And I do have some equipment I could put on now. Which means I can go to my character. You can also just use the recommended gear button to pretty much automatically equip. As so. And for those that don't like headgear, you can actually hide it as well. And our last stop is going to be at Mother Mion. So let's go back to the Carnine Canopy. Because we have completed all of her tasks. And she for sure has more to give us. The conquering hero returns. You have completed my little tasks, I trust. The three locations you visited will feature prominently in your life as an adventurer. It is best you grow familiar with them as soon as possible. And you took the time to listen to the woes of the citizenry. I cannot emphasize enough how important it is to lend your talents to one and all, no matter how trivial the matter may seem. I am thankful that you are an obliging sort, Roselle. It is adventurers like you who will win the hearts of the locals and pave the way for those who follow. I pray Gridania can rely on your aid in its struggles to come. And sometimes it takes a little bit to update, but we have our next quest, to the Bannock. Roselle, have you visited the Bannock on your wanderings? It is a training ground found just outside the city, where the soldiers of the Order of the Twin Adder are drilled in swordplay and other martial matters. I mention this because an acquaintance of mine, a gentleman by the name of Galfrid, is an instructor there, and I think you may be of use to him. Go and introduce yourself and find out if there is anything you can do to help. Mind you, do not stray far from the path. The Twellswood is no place for merry strolls through the underbrush. And before we continue over to the Bannock, we do have these two adventurers looking for some help as well. So we have Tata Sosa, that apparently is crunching on something. What the? This isn't... I must have mistaken this metal bit for a nut whilst out foraging for food in the forest. A spare snaffle misplaced by some sorry soul from the Treespeak stables, I suspect. It was in their vague vicinity that I amassed the majority of my masticable morsels. Well, I've already had a hefty helping of these here nuts, so I won't be walking for a while. Might I trouble you to take this to the Treespeak stables in my stead? Prior to parting, pray speak to Barnabontan at the Yellow Serpent Gate. Listen well to his directions or you're liable to get lost. And also Celestine. Hey girl, you seem unoccupied. You know the Bannock, I trust? Fancy taking a bag of basic provisions over there for me? It's not too heavy, mostly filled with dried meats and other bland rations. It's a straightforward job that I do with a smile and a spring in my step. if I were 10 years younger. Alas, my tastes have matured, evolved, advanced to a higher level, you might even say. But it's a perfect little task for someone fresh-faced like you. Worry not, you'll receive appropriate compensation upon delivery, which you may keep with my blessings. We actually do have to go to the Bannock, so I will take you on that offer. And with this, we have the official starting point of exploring outside. The Bannock is actually down this path, if I remember correctly, so we could just go this way. And with the Bannock, we can continue our main story as well. So far, as you can see, it's pretty quaint and charming in type of quests that you encounter. And it's mainly as a way to learn more about the people and how the people around here are like. But I enjoy them greatly, especially because it gives you that feeling of an actual adventure. Like the journey from zero to hero. And you can see that the Bannock is over here further south. Now, I think I will leave the episode over here. So we will end this one over on our journey towards the Bannock, and then continue with what Gelfried has in store for us in the next episode. I wanted the first episode to be like an introduction to Gridania as a whole and to the type of people you meet inside, and pretty much to complete all of the side quests inside. Now, as I mentioned before, if you do have tips on how you want me to treat the side quests and whether you want to see them in their entirety in the video, do let me know. If you simply want to just see the dialogues, like when you pick up the quest and when you turn it in, just for the sake of the story and for the sake of learning more about the lore, I can do that as well, because I can just cut out the part about the battles. So I can cut out the tedious objectives of killing X enemies. Some of them might be interesting, so the ones that are a bit more interesting I may leave as it is, even if I end up cutting the others. But yes, do let me know in the comments or what you want to see, and I will be more than happy to try and adjust the playthrough so it's a smooth experience for everyone, because I will be doing every side quest here. And trust me, later on, they are actually really good at learning more about the different races and the different nations, because you have like little lore bits and pieces here and there. Even from the way you talk to people, like for instance, the girl we met in Gridania, the fact that you still see them suffering because of the calamity, that personally has a bit of a lore weight on my shoulders. So, without further ado, thank you for coming to my first episode of this playthrough. And I hope that you did enjoy your time, and I am looking forward to continuing this as much as possible, as often as possible. I will leave a bit of a gap until the next episode, just in case I may receive some comments with some tips. But once I have a clearer vision of how you want to see the story unfold, I will be bringing out episodes as often as possible, like possibly maybe even multiple episodes per week. At the start, I will do one episode per week, but once we get into the more interesting parts, I may do more of them. Also, please check out my Twitch channel where I do stream. I do play mostly Final Fantasy XIV, but we do a bit of some other stuff as well. MMOs are my main genre, but I also play some comfy games from time to time, also some other JRPGs, so, you know, there's a bit of different types of games. And I might even go into different genres in the future, depending on my mood, because I do play games like League of Legends as well, for example, whenever I want some PvP, some teamfight tactics, just for fun, because little legends. Some tactical games, maybe, depending on whether my PC can run them or not, and depending on the story. I do enjoy other genres, but unfortunately, since I don't have a capture card, I can't exactly stream Mario Kart, for example, sadly, or Splatoon. But just know that I am a variety gamer at heart. I just focus on MMOs and RPGs in general on my Twitch, but can always have like a variety day. So thank you all for joining me. I might create some more stuff Final Fantasy related, and I might even put up a single game playthrough soon. So look forward to that, and thanks for stopping by. It was a pleasure. And so thanks for stopping by. It was a pleasure to see you all, and I hope you have a lovely rest of the day.